I'm Diana Kaneki. I like to share a poem that I've written, a romantic and insightful letter to a friend. I'm writing this because when I'm interrupted, it's easy to badger, fluster me, to rush what I have to say, or to present items out of logical order. I was raised to let someone speak fully before commenting and not to criticize until another time. The main reason is so that someone feels comfortable speaking without a stammer or rush. This is the reason why I leak a transcript when I speak publicly and avoid speaking at events where it's about sound casting or who can yell the loudest or shout someone down. I'm sharing some things with you because I feel that others will not honor my sharing as sacrosanct as true friends do. I care deeply for you, and it hurts when there is aggression. When you return from weekends, I feel there are things that you are resolving, and I try not to add. But sometimes I do need to talk about things with you, and I can't say it in a soundbite. Please be patient. I will say in logical order and brief. Interruptions break my train of thought and cause me to stammer. One of the reasons why I'm reluctant to work part-time with some companies, as I did from 2000 to 2005 in customer service, is because I did develop a stammer to an overly aggressive tone used in the work environment. My dad begged me to resign in October 2000, which I should have. I stayed until October 2005 to help my mother stay in our family homestead at the old Jefferson School neighborhood, which I owned from 1992 to 2005. And was in my family from 1921 to 2005. I'm glad that you stay with me and that we can share an apartment. I have never required that you do any of the housework or pay half the expenses. I'm glad that we can share time together and enjoy being with you. If someone was truly a roommate, I would require that we split expenses equally, or at least to a proper proportion based upon our incomes. Some people I've known have been tempted to play the game keeping up with the Joneses in terms of their friendship with me as per their friends. My parents went through this when my aunt and uncle did one attempt to cause my parents to divorce in 1973. Which resulted in a separation from 1973 to 76. That was very hard on my sister and me. For me, it meant weekends visiting my mother on East Cass Street in downtown Milwaukee and returning home via Wisconsin coach lines. In addition, when my mother and I would go out, it meant walking past neo-Nazis in their disgusting brown uniforms, handing out hate literature. They would not shout taunts at my mother and me because my mother's side of the family was German and she looked very German, and I'm half German on my mother's side and don't show as many Polish traits that the neo-Nazis would recognize. The reason I mention this is that the game of keeping up with the Joneses or dealing with other friends' hearsay gossip about me or even with other friends does bring bad memories of that time from 1973 to 1976. And it took me until 1978 to recover from it. For me, the 70s were 70 to 73 and 76 to 79, with other parts that I wish to black out. Right now, since I returned to Kenosha in 2012, there have been rumors, taunts, innuendos to smear my reputation, including those who work in professional, in medical, and legal, because I'm a test case for Kenosha in being transgender. I bypassed the Kenosha process and faced pitchforks of bullying, abuse, taunts, sometimes. Most of the time it does not bother me. But it does mean that I need to be able to leave Kenosha for a few days each month to unwind. When my travel out of town is limited, it builds up, and I either try to rest or try to walk it off. When my father was alive and in the old Jefferson School neighborhood, he was one of the 1% trying to live in an upper middle class American Motors Union neighborhood then, and as well as a neighbor. My grandfather was one of the founding members of UAW Local 72 in Kenosha, and when my grandfather died in 1971, Local 72, the members were the greatest in helping our family through that time. I always remember that, which is why I always try to support them when the issues are valid. And the neighbor, like my family, is one of our 1% who do care in making a better quality of life for all. But he decided to move because others would use him to throw their pitchforks, even though he was on their side and fighting for them. Please understand that I pay all the bills to keep a roof over our heads, which means some months I'm cash poor for some parts of the month. However, I follow the rule that Suzy Orman mentioned: you pay the bills to keep a roof over your head and worry about the rest later. The reason why I pay a higher proportion of rent to income is that I feel that it is important to have an apartment where the neighborhood and the environment is better for both our emotional and physical health. The philosophical principle still remains: I will pay higher rent for a safer neighborhood and a more enlightened neighborhood for both our physical and emotional health. Yes, the one apartment that was chosen, the owner of the apartment building is a poor manager. I am not familiar with some local reputations of some people locally, and always believe in looking positively at someone first until they prove otherwise. I know some decisions were rushed in choosing an apartment, which is why I'm looking for a better apartment, a better neighborhood for us to share, and not rushing. I have noticed that sometimes people are motivated or controlled by fear. Please don't be. You have rights, and you have human rights to fight back, as well as legal rights. My feeling on many issues is that some people believe in doing some things or other things. That's fine. It's not my choice. But please, don't be angry with me because it is not my choice. I'm not angry with you because it is your choice. I just don't choose not to participate. Like Carrie in Sex and the City, in one episode where she went to a party and they're doing something, she said no, and walked away. Her friends still supported her. Please, you are a good person and have a good personality. Don't let others change you by trinkets or favors. I share all that I can and do this gladly and willfully. With love and respect, to a friend, Diana.